Hi, myself Anees. Welcome to InstaShare project demonstration. So past couple of days I was busy coding the React project InstaShare. So I have come to the conclusion, so I have done with it. So today I'll be explaining the working of the same application. So now we are in the readme file that I've created. So it contains some of the description, its features and so on, its functionalities, technologies used, tools, etc. So before that I have already published this website. So you can see here I have already published it with the domain. So for time being I'll be using the local server here. Okay, I'll be using npm start. And this is, we have the installation, the credit user credentials here, okay, and so on in the readme file. So I'll be making use of the local server here. I'll be running the live version, and we'll go to the port, and here we get the login route. So we'll just switch to this is a responsive website. So we have the mobile version and the desktop or the laptop version here. Okay, initially I would like to mention, like, we are currently in the login route. I can't bypass this login to go to the home route or say the my profile route. So initially I must log in to get to that routes or pages. So I'll just give a random username and a valid password. So this is valid password and a random username. So if I try to log in, I'll get an error. It throws an error saying invalid username, and so I must give a valid username as well as a valid password to login. Okay, so I click login. Okay, so we get to the feed page or the home feed. Okay, so this is the mobile version of it, and here we see the laptop or the desktop version. So what we see is we see the header here, we see the story section, and we see the post section. Okay, so these are the three sections. Even in the mobile view, so we see the header, and even have you noticed, like, even the header is responsive. Like, we have the hamburger menu for the mobile version. We have the logo here, the title. On clicking the hamburger menu, we get the menu link, the logout button, and for the desktop version we have everything integrated on the single element. We have the search menu here, but for the mobile version we need to click on the search tab to for the input element to be visible. So that's the working of the header. And coming to the stories part, I have made use of the React Slick here to get this required output. It's the slider for the stories. Even in the desktop version, okay, it's working properly, so we get the output. This is story section, and comes to the post section. We have the profile picture, the name, the post, and we have few buttons here. Okay, we have the like button. Okay, on clicking the like button, the likes is incremented. By default we have the current likes. Okay, and we have the the caption here. We have the comment section and the time. Okay, so this is the post of the users we are following. So this is the desktop view, and here we have the mobile view. So I'll just we can just check the search functionality. On clicking the search, okay, we have the input element here, and I'll just give a keyword, okay, sky. So when I click the search, okay, we have some post here. So what happens here is they will check the backend search the keyword sky in the caption. So we have the sky here in the caption. So that's the working of this. And when the input is empty, we goes back to the feeds page. So even in the desktop view, when I search, just we'll give bird. Okay, we'll just search word. Okay, we have the search results here. Okay, So this is the desktop view of the same, and we just remove. Okay, so we get the search results. So just we can try, like I don't know if it work. Okay, we'll just search unknown. Okay, we get the search not found view because we doesn't have any post with the search query unknown. Okay, with the caption unknown in it. So that is a search functionality. And also on clicking the username, okay, we have few posts here. On clicking the username, we get redirected to the user's profile. So we have the user profile here. This is the desktop view, and this is the mobile view of the same. Okay, we have the username, we have the post count, follows count, following count, the username, the bio, the stories, and the post here. Okay, we have both the views here. Also we have the navigation menu here. We have the home. Either we can make use of the home here, or directly we can click on the in the header, the logo or the title, we get redirected to the home. Also we have a profile, my profile section here. On clicking the profile, we get redirected to the profile, our profile. We can see our name, our username, our bio, our post, and our stories. Okay, this is the desktop view, and here's the mobile view of it. Okay, and hope you have noticed, like we are in the profile. Okay, so profile is highlighted, the active page, active route, and now the home route is rendered, so it gets highlighted. So we'll get to see the working of it at later time. Okay, so this is the overall working. Also say in case the user tries to access, like say invalid random. Okay, so we'll get the page not found. Okay, we doesn't have a route saying random, so we get a page not found. Also we have a button with it. Okay, we'll get redirected to the home page on clicking it. So this is the overall working of the InstaShare application. Also we have quite other failed pages, like failed views, like in case the server is down, there is a downtime, we can't get this data. So we have a different view there for this post and the story section, even for the my profile. So we'll get check that later at a later time. We need to emulate that that server down scenario. Okay, we'll check that later. So this is the overall working of the website. Also I would like to mention, like currently we are in the feeds page. If I would like to get into the login route, okay, automatically I get redirected to the feeds page because I'm an authenticated user. I have already logged in, so I can't go back to the login page. For that I should log out first. Okay, only then I can move, or I can go into the login page. So this is the overall working of the website. Next we can check the working. So this is the md file, okay, readme file, and here we have the login component. So this is the starting, and here we can see few other components. We have the header component, home component, login component, my component, and so on. Okay, so the use of component is that we can, it is reusable. Like we can, once the component is created, we can make use of that component in some other component, so it's reusable. So that's why we make use of the component. So here the login component, this is a class component. Some of the components are functional components, while where there are some changes within the page, we make use of class component. So initially we can see some import lines. I have imported component from React for the class, and the cookies, I have made use of the JS cookie to store the JWT token. And also I need to redirect the user to the home once the login is successful. So for that I have made use of the React router, I mean the redirect from the React router DOM. Also I have imported the styles for the CSS file. and the class component, the login component. We have the state here with username, password, and error message variables in it. So we make use of these three variables to bring out the changes in the UI. And we have few other methods here. Okay, we have the on change username. Okay, saying like I'll just close this. We'll just continue with the desktop version. So if I type something here, we need to update it in the state. Okay, so we make use of the set state method to update the variable there. Okay, on change username, and where this is evoked is that in the render. So this is the render part. In the render part, on change, when the input element with the username changes, then this gets evoked. The same happens with the username. Pardon, the password. Likewise, the password also is updated. Then we have the on submit login. So this is a asynchronous asynchronous method, saying normally we write functions are normal functions, saying they are synchronous. But since we have made use of fetch method here, we make it asynchronous. So we have used the async keyword here, and here we have object destructuring from the state. We have the code username and password from the state, from through the input element. Then we have the user details, a object here, the URL. This is a post method. Okay, and for the body I have the formatted into a JSON format. Then I got the response. I have made use of the await keyword here for the asynchronous fetch method. And from the fetch data, I have the fetch data here. And what happens here is, if the HTTP request is successful, this block gets executed. What happens is, I make use of history prop here, and I push the replace the user to the home route. Also at the same time I set the cookie. Okay, I have imported the cookie in the beginning, right? So I set the cookie with the name JWT token, the variable, and what is this is expiry 30. It represents the number of days. So once a user successfully log in, so the login details or the user stays logged in for the next 30 days. Only post that the user will be asked to log in again. So we have the else part here. So what happens is, we get the error, right? Like random. So we'll get the error here. So the else part is getting executed. So Rahul at 2021. So this is a valid username and the valid password. So on clicking login, I'll get redirected to the home route, and we have the render here. Okay, so initially what happens is, like if I go to, like, say login, so I'll get redirected to the home route. So this is what happening in the initial render. So I'll check whether I have a JWT token name in the cookies. If it's valid, or if I'm authenticated, I'll right away I'm redirected to the home route. Else I am asked to log in. So we have the HTML part here. Okay, we have the form here. On submit, the method is evoked. We have few other elements here. We have the input element here, username, and on change event. Okay, on change event for the password. And okay, this is all about the login component. And we have the styling here. Okay, we have few styles here, and also this is responsive. So we have for the tablet view, for the desktop view. Okay, so I have made use of the media queries here for the media queries here for the sizing, width, and all. And so that's all about the login. So before proceeding, I would like to mention that only the login is not protected, because it's open, like any user can get into the login page. But post that, to access the home route or the proceeding routes, the user must be logged in. So to make to enforce that, what I have done is, here's the app.js file. So I have imported the switch and the route from React Router DOM to, then I have imported all the other components into the app.js, the styling, and I have made use of switch here, switch component. So what happens is the first available matching route is rendered. So that's what happens here inside the switch. So I am given the path, the login is available to anyone, and next all routes, every routes is under the protected route. So we'll just check the protected route. I've already imported it. Okay, you can see protected route. So this is a protected route. So what happens in the protected route? This is a normal component. This is a functional component, whereas the login was a class component. So what happens here is we'll check the JWT token inside the cookies. If it is available, where the user wants to redirect, will pass on that route. Will render route, particular route. Otherwise, we'll just redirect to the login, because we need only the authenticated user must be allowed, must be redirected to the protected route. So that's the overall idea behind this. Okay, moving on to the home, we have the home route here. So say similar to the login, I have imported component cookies and some other few components here. And what you see here is I have this search functionality within the home route here. So we have the search state for that, and we have the API call here. Okay, and the updating state, everything here. So I'll just skip that. We'll go to the render method here. I'm just destructuring all the state, and if based on the search query, okay, if the search query is like empty, okay, we have it's empty here. So then this block is, this particular block gets rendered. So we have the header here, we have the user stories here, and we have the user post here. So one by one we'll just check it out. So initially we'll go to header. So we have the header here. So we have the component, we have the link with router from the React Router DOM, then cookies we made, then we have few other React icons. Okay, and we have imported the CSS file, and this is class component. Header is a class component. We have the state, we have two state variables, is menu visible and is search active. Okay, why this is, when we check out the mobile version, okay, we have a hamburger menu, and we have these two functionalities. We have the menu visible or this is, so for that we make use of both these state components. I mean, sorry, pardon, the state variables. So we'll check on that. On click search, like when we click on the search, okay, the search, I mean, it gets, this method gets called. So get active route. Okay, so what is this for is, I'll just come to that. We'll just so this is the rendered part of it. Okay, from the state we are destructuring it. We have the props passed, search query for the search functionality. Okay, we'll just skip that. We have the render part here. Okay, we are returning the all the navigation nav bar, and we have the links here, link component. And since if we are in profile, when we click on the title bar, we'll get a redirect to the home route. So we made use of the link here, so to home. Likewise, as I said, this is a responsive nav bar, responsive header. So we have some other few blocks here. Okay, so based on the device type, we need to render specific part. So here also we can see the link. Okay, I mean the menu item. So menu list and menu item, and for each menu item, I hope you have noticed the styling, like based on the is active or based on the get active route. Okay, we are rendering the link items, because like in the tablet view, when we click on the home route, the home is highlighted. when we click on the profile link gets highlighted. So for this working, I call this method. So what happens inside this method is it will just get active route. Okay, it will just get the prop match prop, and from the match prop the path property gets returned. Means it will return like which path the user is currently in, whether it's my profile or whether the user is in the home. So we have the home here slash. So based on that, the styling will get applied. So that is the working principle behind the highlighting of the nav menu. So we have the styling part here, we have the list here, noded list, and for the desktop we have free block here, and this is for the LG, the desktop version block, the menu. And so that's the, and also we have on clicks, few on clicks here. We have on click logout and we have on click search. So that's where these methods gets evoked, get called. Okay, on click search, on clicking the search, okay, we need to display the input element. On clicking logout, we need to log out the user. So what happen here is we make use of history prop. Okay, we'll just remove the JWT token. Okay, we initially when the user login, we set the cookie. Okay, so once the user wants to log out, we'll just remove the cookie and we'll just push them, replace them to the login page. Okay, and on click hamburger menu. Okay, toggle menu visibility, is a menu visible or not. On search query. So we have a search query here. So where if the user wants to search, like the search query is updated, the state is updated, on click search button. Okay, so okay, then we'll talk about the search functionality. Okay, like when we click something, when we type something, okay, we have the initial view here. So what happens is in the home route, okay, in the home route, as I said, in normal cases, by default this section will get executed, but when the search element isn't empty, we'll get this particular this block will get executed. So what happened here is we have the header. Okay, we are passing the search query, also the update to update this search query, also get search results. Okay, we are passing this particular methods inside the home to the header. So on clicking, the thing is that we have we have the APIs in the home route, and we have the search input element in the header. So we need the header and the home to communicate each other. Also we need to communicate with the post search component. So we make use of the props, we pass the props. That's how this is working. Okay, so we pass the props to call this method, also to update the state. And in the post search, what happens is we search the results. Okay, we have the initially we have the get search results. Okay, as we have discussed earlier in the login, we have the search results here. From the state we'll get a search query. We'll just search it, but differently we have a get method here. But before we have discussed about post, this is get. We need to get the results, right? So we have the search query here as a parameter, and then we have the formatted, like we format the data we get from snake case to camel case. And we have the await here. We get the response, the fetch data. If is successful, we'll push that into the state. Okay, we'll update the state. So in that case, we'll get the search results, or else we'll get a failure. Like for every route, for every functionality, for every page, we have a failure view. So we'll see that later. Okay, at a later time. because we need to emulate that failure scenario. Means we need a downtime, so we need to emulate that. We need to make some changes. We'll get that output. We'll see that later. So we'll just move on. So as I said, we'll just check the post search. We have the post search, yeah, post search component here. We are importing the component, the loader. We have a loader for every page. From React, we make use of React loader spinner component here, and user post item, we import that. And okay, we have this is a clause component. uh, we render the search results. Okay, so we from the props passed we get this, we destructure this, and if the length is not equal to 0, currently it's equal to 0. If it's not equal to 0, like, we get the initial view. So we make use of switch here to get different views. We have the initial view, in progress view, the the loading view, success view, and the failing view for each page. So this is the initial view, this is the desktop, and this is the mobile view of it. And we have the in progress view, like when we click, we have the in progress, then we have the success view. So we'll just check the success view and render search view. So for the success view, we make use of the user post item. Okay, so we have already imported it, and we make use of that. So this is the HTML which is being rendered. So we'll just check that. Okay, then coming, when it's empty, the normal feed is rendered. Then we have the stories view here. Okay, we'll just check the stories. So we have the user stories, so that's just beneath the header. So beneath the header we have the stories. And I have made use of the React Slick here. See, we have the slider from React Slick. We have the component cookies. I have made use of cookies, JS cookie. We need that JWT token to fetch the data from the server. We have the loader here, and we have API status constant, a variable to set this API status. We have the settings for the React Slick here. We have the speed, the settings, the responsive breakpoints to get the desired output for the responsive view. This is also a class component. The user stories, we have the state here. We have the data, the API status, and we also have, yeah, different views here. Okay, as I said, we have in progress, success, failure view. We have the failure view here. We have the loading view here, the loader, spinner. This is the success view. Okay, if it's not equal to 0, we'll just get the success view. We'll just render this block. We have the slider component here. We have some few containers here. We have the item, and okay, we make use of map method. Okay, this is an array. We just render each of the items here, the each of the story items here. And have you noticed, I have made use of the marquee. Okay, because when displaying the whole of the username, it becomes so congested, so I have made use of the marquee. So instead of using the marquee element, what I have done is, you can check the CSS part. This is a marquee span. Okay, I have implemented the marquee in the CSS. So this is the few other lines regarding that, and also the responsive part. Okay, so this is all about the story section. Then we have the post section. So we can see few posts here, so from which the users we are following. This is the desktop view, and this is the mobile view here. So we get that rendered. Okay, we'll just move on to the home. So I'll just get the idea. So you'll just see, we have the header, we have the user story section, and user post section. So user post section renders this post section, the post. So we have the user post here. So we are covering just one by one. So we have the component, importing the component, the cookies, the loader spinner, and the user. Here also we have, as I said, we have different views here. we have loading view, success view, in progress view. So I'll just after this discussing this, I'll just emulate the failure view. Okay, we have the failure view here, we have the loading view here, we have the render user post view, means the success view. So what happened here is okay, we have a container here, user post, each user post, we have few of the user posts here. So it's an array, we using the map, we render one by one. Okay, we pass it, we make use of key. Okay, since this is an array, we pass this to the user post item component, the details regarding each post, we'll get it rendered. Also we have the this component did mount. When this component is mounted, this is the first method which gets called. The you get user post is called, we get the user post here. Okay, and we get it formatted and it get pushed to the state, and we'll just check the user post item, and it's where each card is rendered, this card is rendered. Okay, so I'm just importing some of the React icons here, the link element, because we need to implement this rend, means when I click on the username, we need to redirect the user to the profile, I mean the user profile. So we make use of link here. We have the cookies, and I'll just forward skip to the render part. So we have the render, we are destructuring the prop and the state, we are getting the state variables, and in the render we have the link. As I said, when I click on the username and on click like button, like when the user clicks on like button, the likes is incremented, the like count is incremented. So what happened here is, on click like button, this method gets invoked. So this is where this like happens, like the like API. So from the state we'll get this variable, from the props we'll get the details of the ID, post ID, and this is the URL here, and we have the request object that we'll just from the state we'll get the like status, whether we need to like the post or we need to dislike the post, and we have the JSON format of it. This is a post method, and as usual we'll use the fetch method to update. Okay, so this is the working of the user post item. Okay, each card or each post is rendered. We have the styling for the same. Okay, we have quite few styles here, class names. Okay, so we can see we have quite few class names here, and also we have the responsive part for the desktop and the laptop version. And then we'll just discuss about when we click on the username. Okay, when we click on the username, we get redirected to the user profile. So we can see when the user clicks on the username, we have the link here. We have seen it redirects it to this route. Okay, user/user ID. So we'll just check the protected route or the app.js. So we have a path here. Okay, user profile. Okay, this gets rendered user profile. So we'll just check the user profile here. Yeah. So this too is a class component. We import some of the components, and we have the components here, third-party components, and this is a class component. We have the state variables. Okay, as usual, we'll just fetch the data, we'll just store it in the state variables, and based on this whether this is successful, whether the HTTP request is successful, based on that we'll render the each view, the progress view, success view, and the failure view. Okay, and we have the failure view here, the loader view here, and we have the profile view here. Okay, so what happens in the profile view? As I said, we can reuse the components. We reuse the profile component, we have imported it here. Okay, So we make use of this profile component in the user profile, also in the my profile. So even in the my profile, the same procedure happens. We fetch the data during component mounting, and we have different, we have the switch here. So based on the API status, if it is success, we call the profile component. So we have the profile component here. Okay, we are passing the profile details, and one another variable is passed, and we'll just check, since this is common, we'll just check the profile. So we have the profile here, profile component, and we don't have any updations here, so we use the functional component. So we have some of the icons here, we have the header, the styling part, and this is the render. We get the props is passed. From the props we destructure these properties, and based on the length, like if this length, if the post number of post is just very less, we'll just give another view. Okay, it's not rendered, so based on that the profile section is rendered. So here is the render post. Okay, render stories. Okay, render post and render stories methods, and here is the return. Okay, means the render method. Pardon, this is the main return, and the earlier discussed methods are being evoked here. So we have like render stories method and render post method, these are being called here. So we'll get that executed, we'll get that returned here, so we'll get this particular view. Okay, and this is the, like when the user click on the user post, and also when the user click on profile, we get the profile, the same profile component is being rendered. So this is the overall working. And also I have discussed about the failure view. Before that, we'll just check the not found route, like when the user click on, like try to access any random path, like if it's isn't available, like we just check the app.js, in that the last one is not found, like the system will check whether this route or the next preceding route. If none of them matches, we'll just forward the user or redirect the user to the not found if none of the routes match. So we have the not found route here. This is the desktop version and the mobile version of the same. This is the mobile version. So this is also a class this is also a normal functional component. We don't have any updations or any changes happening in the UI. So this is a work JS file, and this is CSS styling for the responsive part of it. So earlier I have discussed the failure view. Okay, we have some of the failure views. Okay, I'll just we'll just start with the home. Okay, we'll just go to home. And also we have a button here, right? So I have on click. Okay, so we have a link here. I have made use of link to redirect the user to the home. Okay, so we are currently in home. Okay, we'll just reload. So in case the server is down, when we are having some downtime, so this is a view a user gets. So we have a try again button. We got some error for both the stories and the post. On clicking the try again, if the again HTTP request is made, if the server is okay, it's up, we'll get the success view, or else we'll get the error view. So this is the failure view of it. And next we can check, we can go to my profile. We have my profile here. So currently it's up, it's working, the server is okay. We'll just check the failure view of the same. Okay, so here we get the failure view of the my profile section, my profile route. So on clicking try again, another HTTP request is made to the server, and so that's what happens here in the failure view. So that's the failure view. So next we can go back to the home route, and when we click on a user profile, so we have this current user, we have a few posts here. So in case this particular user haven't done any post yet, we'll get another view. So I'll just emulate that view. So this is a case where the user doesn't have any post yet, and also haven't posted any stories. So this is a view we get in that scenario. So here we comes to an end of the demonstration. So we have discussed quite all the complete functionalities of the InstaShare application, including the logout button. Okay, currently the cookies is cleared, so we have logout. Thank you.